Hello and welcome to our monthly motivation meetup. I am Melissa. This is our meetup, our Saturday morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world, meetup for October. It's October the 24th, 2015, and thank you so much for joining us today. We have several people joining us from mostly Europe, but I do see that Diane is here on the east coast of Canada as well. So thank you all for joining us today. And I am seeing that we have many experienced members with us today. So we are just going to take a moment to center, ground ourselves, and be a little bit flexible about what we're going to present in today's meeting, because we already have a recording from yesterday really going into detail, showing you around the membership site, everything that you need to know. And so we're going to just center, ground, turn inward, see what you need most from us today, and let this maybe be a little bit more flexible in terms of answering your questions rather than repeat the exact same thing again, since we have so many experienced members that probably know the answers to most of the questions and already know what I would have normally was going to show them today. Plus, you can watch the recording from yesterday. So let's just begin by, if you're sitting, sink down through your sit bones. If you're standing, feel your feet on the ground. Lengthen up through your spine. Draw your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fall out of your mouth. And allow yourself to arrive here now. And then begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And take this time to connect with your breathing. Notice what's happening with your breath right now without any need to fix or change it in any way. If it's shallow, it's shallow. If it's deep, it's deep. Just noticing what's happening with your breath. Notice where you feel it in your body. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it fall out of your mouth. And tune into your physical body. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice what stands out about your physical body right now. And then take a deep breath in and let it fall out of your mouth. And reflect on your life circumstances, your thoughts and emotions, things that are happening in your life right now. And then begin to form an intention of what it is that you would like to receive from our time together over the next hour. How this webinar could best serve you. What it is that you most want to receive from your membership community. And then go ahead and type that in the search in the questions box when you feel ready. Feel your breath deepen, feel your feet on the ground, feel your sit bones in your chair. And then go ahead and type what it is that you want to receive from our next hour together in the questions box. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. We're going to answer them. I want to know what's most challenging for you about our membership community and what questions you want answered today. Go ahead and type that in the questions box for me so that we can make sure that we answer them. Rebecca had a great question about a search option in order to find classes more easily. I'm going to go over lots of ways to find classes. We're going to have, we have a lot of people who are quite expert at finding their way around the membership community here, and we'll have them speak about how they find classes as well. If you have a social media window open, go ahead and take a selfie or a picture of yourself or some sort of picture of yourself being present here, and go ahead and post it on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter. My Instagram is at Dr. Melissa West. My Twitter is at Dr. Melissa. Facebook is /Your Namaste Yoga. And you can use the hashtag Namaste Yoga and the hashtag membership motivation. So Jane says her intention is to spend real time with like-minded people. And that is a great intention. I learned something yesterday about finding out what other people are doing here in the community, so maybe I'll share that too. Ulrika's saying she's looking forward to being part of this group today. She's willing to be of help if there's anything she could do during this hour, so I will get Ulrika to speak as well. Allison wants to refresh her motivation to do a couple of longer practices every week, so I'm going to show you where the longer videos are and also show you some community playlists. Benny says she's here to feel the support of the community. She feels a little less present since she's back to work. Sometimes she feels a little bit disconnected even though she's on the membership community every day. She just wants to feel connected to all of us today. So it's great to have you here. And Diane too, she's saying it's great to have an hour with all of us. So it's great to have you guys here. It's great to have this hour together too. So I'm glad for us to hang out with like-minded people this morning as well. And I know it's evening for most of you. So great. I'm glad for us to have this hour together. Yeah, we'll unmute you as well too. Paige wants to hear about how people are connecting with their accountability buddies. So that would be great. I know there are people here who have accountability buddies. Let's spend some time speaking about that. That would be great. Look, Rebecca wants to hear about experience of the same classes, how we are around the world, even if we do drink cider in Somerset. So yes, okay, Becky, I've got some great things for you to speak about that. If you want to hear about how we have similar experiences, so I'm going to get at that. Pam's speaking about transitioning towards retirement, beginning an exploration of how yoga can be the practice that carries me into old age. She wants this community to welcome her into exploring yoga as a commitment and spiritual practice, not a form of exercise. So great. Pam, we will speak to that as well. I'm just making a little bit of notes for that as well as I go along, so I make sure I cover that. So we're ready to look up old Namaste yoga classes, Fiona? Okay, we have got something great you are going to love. Old Namaste yoga classes. Okay, so perhaps my original plan is not going to be as bad as I thought it was. Huh, Tim? This is good. Meetups. How do we find members who live in the same area? Yes. See, this is all going to be okay. It's good we took this time to center. Great. Members who live in the same area. Okay, we can do that, Becky. I think you would prefer Becky to Rebecca, isn't that right? Rebecca, let me know in the questions box. Okay, these are great. I think we're going to be just fine. So we're going to start with search because this is a question that comes up. And well, actually, I'm going to start with a couple of other things, and then we're going to get right into the questions that came up here. So the first thing I want to let you know about is our next meetup. And you can find that right here close on the top because a lot of you spoke about how great it is for us to connect every month and you like to get together. And we choose topics based on what I hear coming up for our members. So it's great to hear what is important to you because I'm listening and I do choose topics based on what you need the most. So our next one for you, if this time works best for you, will be Saturday, November 28th at 8 a.m. Pacific. You click here to sign up. And you can use this time zone converter to find out what time it is for you where you live. Oh, that's a weird ad. I hope nobody here needs that.
I was just Googling that.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right then. The next thing I wanted to do was to welcome all our new members in October. We've had quite a few new members, and as I said yesterday, I think the reason was episode 300. Quite a few people that have responded to our letter that we send out when they become new members said that they really connected with the personal outpouring in 300, and then they decided to become a member. So welcome to Yelena, Jenny, Janelle, Lucille, Valerie, Susan, Camden, Patricia, Stephen, Nancy, Irina, Mary, and Cinda. And I'm not sure. Let me know if you're new this month and you're here today. I didn't see anybody. Also, Karen became a member last night, so just wanted to welcome all of you. It's great to have so many new members, and that's partly why we're covering this topic today. So we are going to go over, we're going to show you around the membership community. A lot of these things that you've asked about is going to be covered in showing you around. Can you let me know if you want, Tim is going to do tech tips on how to post photos and resize photos. Let me know in the questions box if that's something useful to you, if you want him to show you that. Again, there's tutorials on it as well. Let me know if you want us to use this time today to do that. I am going to unveil a new area of our community that will answer Fiona's questions about how to find old Namaste yoga classes that Fiona's asking about. And also some tips. We're going to take some tips from some of our most active members. So Becky's saying she would like you to do that still. So we will do that. I think it's useful to see that. And we would like you to be active in this. So if I'm starting to show something and you know a better way to do it, please put your hand up so I can unmute you and you can tell me how to do that. Diane would also like to see the resizing photos tutorial. So we will definitely bring Tim on to do that today. Okay, so let's start with search, since that was the best question, not the best question, but the first question that came up. There is a search here in the membership forum, see in the top right. It's not a good search. I will give you that. I wouldn't recommend using it. The reason is that this is a closed forum, and we've chosen to create a closed forum where, because there's a lot of personal sharing in this forum, we do not want a collecting of information here. So it is closed. So this isn't a Google search engine. And you are probably happy that it's not a Google search engine where they're picking up on all the personal information that you're sharing. So this is a safe, closed environment where you can share of your personal things without worrying that that's going to be picked up by, what do you call those things?
Search engines, bots.
Bots?
B-O-T-S.
Bots, yeah. So as a result, search is not that great. That's the trade-off. However, what you can do, because we have done a gazillion blog posts, you can come over to, this is one place where you're going to have to come off the membership site and come onto my site. This little search box here on my site is a Google driven, right, Tim? Yeah. So anything you're looking for is probably going to be covered in a blog post. So Fiona, type in something that you were looking for in the search box. Let's say you were looking for something with a slow-mo ball. And actually, let me type that correctly. Okay, so here, can sitting cause brain damage? Or here, are you tired? Here's a blog post I did on being tired, and then you're going to find that I'm linking to classes in the membership site where it connects you to this stuff on fascia is only in the membership community. So a lot of times in blog posts, I will connect you to content that only exists in the membership community. Is sitting causing you brain damage? And then I will connect you to classes that will exist in the membership community. So I don't see anything. Can somebody type in something that they are trying to look for in the membership community that they would like me to search for? Maybe anxiety is something that people look for a lot. I got that before they typed. Okay, so here's what is anxiety. Okay, restorative. Fiona was trying to find the restorative 171. Okay, so here's what is anxiety, and then if you scroll down, we have here are the restorative yoga classes in there's several classes that are linked to in the membership community here. So this is the best way to do it, is on my@melissawest.com. So Fiona was trying to look for, don't do it on, sorry, you can't do it in the membership forum. It's a terrible search engine. This is a lot better. So restorative yoga.
I'm going to try and get that better.
Tim's going to try and,
Yeah, the browser's so bad.
yeah, you're going to have to search.
I'll do some tests this week
Yeah, I'll put it here for now, but
Because
search.
it may just be that we need to add tags to all the videos.
We've tried that.
Didn't work?
No. We spent a summer doing that. It was an exercise in futility.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go, Fiona. See? 71 and 171. That's what you were looking for. So you unfortunately do have to come off the membership site to do that, but it's a great way to search. And it will, yeah. Paige is looking for Yoga Nidra. I'm going to show you another way to do this, actually. So Yoga Nidra. There you go, sleep yoga, yoga for sleep, yoga helps with insomnia. You're going to find all of these will link you to classes on Yoga Nidra. Often I'll talk about a topic and then I'll send you to posts on the membership site. Okay, so I think that answers that question. But it also points me to something that I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit more today than I usually do. Okay, these are good questions. Make sure I come back to them. So in terms of missing oldies, Namaste Yoga series. Okay, let me, you guys have so many good questions. You guys always have great questions. Let me jump to something that I really want to show you here in the membership community that I really want to make sure you're taking advantage of. And that is the community playlist. If you're looking for stuff by themes that are in the membership community, you want to make sure that you're checking in on the community playlist. So for example, the question here was, Becky wanted to know about guided meditations on the membership community. Here's a playlist on guided meditations. So, and then here's a tip. Often there's a lot of comments, so you're going to have to click on the last page to come to the guided meditations. So here, look at all these guided meditations. This playlist took me forever to put together. And when I actually put this playlist together, I was shocked at how many guided meditations we had, because it was something that I didn't even realize how many guided meditations we had in our community. So this community playlist is excellent. It does take a little while to look. There's 4 pages of them. It does take a little while to scroll through them, because there are different topics. And when people ask me so for example, what are good classes for back pain, then I'll put together a playlist for them. I'll go through the membership site, I'll comb through it, and I'll find all the good classes for back pain. So this is a great place to come if you're looking for classes based on a theme. So for example, here's good classes for your liver, and I'll link to them that way. So that is a really great section. Becky's saying different meditations appear when you access your membership site on the phone. So Tim, will you cover that when you come on? Because it is a little bit different. Tim's going to talk to you about how it shows.
It's the same site.
It's the same site. Tim's going to show you. You'll do that little demo.
If she's using an iPhone, there's a couple of weird things.
Yeah, Tim's going to do a little demo of the phone when he comes on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Ulrika's saying she likes the morning one. Okay, Tim, are you watching these comments? Because they're kind of throwing me off a little bit. Tell me if there's something I need to kind of stay with what I was showing with kind of my plan. Otherwise, I'm getting thrown off a little bit. Okay, so coming back to the forum, I'm going to stick to my program a little bit more, and then Tim will tell me if there's something that I need to see. In terms of videos, I just want to make sure you see that that you know that there's main sections you need to look at. There's the short videos. Somebody asked about long videos. There's a whole section here of long videos. So if you want to get into doing longer practices, they're here. And then there are a few longer videos in the postures and pranayama section. This is our newest section. Although there are shorter videos in here too. Now we're doing them because they were getting so long and involved. I'm breaking them down into shorter videos now. So for example, the back, neck, and nervous system is a series of short videos for the most part. We need to make sure we're going back and putting in the times of the classes when we put them up, when we post them. The titles, any video when we post them. Yeah. So the postures and pranayama section, these are the ones that work with the fascia. They use the connective tissue props. They have the brain yoga in them. So that's that's kind of the leading edge part of our community right now. And yes, that's great. The other thing that Paige was asking about is our yoga buddies section. So I wanted to go over there. If you're new, and even if you're not new, especially if you're not new, a lot of people are more experienced members. So let's focus on that. We can go to the one-on-one yoga buddies section. If you're new, go over here to ask for help in the give or receive section. If you're not new, so for example, there was somebody who was speaking about going into retirement, wanting to go deeper. People who are Pam wanted to grow her spiritual practice. Here, I would recommend coming in here, asking for an accountability buddy to grow deeper in your practice with. A lot of you are speaking about wanting to deepen your connection. So I know we have a lot of people here who have accountability buddies, who have yoga buddies. Can I have any volunteers who will speak about how that's working for them? Raise their hand who would speak about that right now, and I'll unmute you so you can speak about that. So this is a great way to connect with another like-minded person in your community. You can decide how. You can email back and forth. You can email within our community here. There's an inbox here where you can send messages here. Or you can Skype, you can FaceTime. Your level of connection is up to you. So Fiona is willing to speak about it. So I'm going to unmute Fiona. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry if I cough, I'm just getting over a vicious illness. Accountability buddy, Hannah, I think quite a few people will know Hannah's my buddy. I think it works quite well with us because we've got like an illness in common and stuff, so we kind of work at the same levels with our yoga practice. What else can I tell? I don't know. What was you asking? What did you want to know?
So do you choose to do the same practices together? How do you meet up?
We generally talk on the phone, I think, about once a week. And we might have a few emails or a couple of texts going back and forth. And we keep agreeing on things that we'll do. But then I think more on my side than Hannah's, I think, at the moment. Ill health keeps getting in the way. But I think we kind of do pick it up. But we also, it's fallen off a bit recently, but each month if we do our yoga intentions for the month or for longer, we just do a photo or photocopy it and email it to each other. Nice. And we have then we can sort of we sometimes discuss a bit more what we're doing. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's just really, I should just say it's really good to share, have somebody to share your yoga interest with and somebody that understands it a bit more on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Her accent's hilarious.
Great.
It's like listening to my family.
Tim likes her Tim likes your accent because it sounds like his family.
It's not normally like this. Sometimes I'm full of cold.
Yeah, Fiona lives pretty much in the backyard of where Tim's family grew up. Okay, thank you, Fiona.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Anybody else have an accountability buddy that would like to speak about it? Paige, have you not had an accountability buddy? I have an accountability buddy who's a member here as well. Shannon Valley and I are accountability buddies. We text almost every day to each other. She's a huge support system in my life. Becky would like one. Shannon, and as many of you know, as I spoke about in episode 300, I've been going through a huge transition in my life as I'm being asked to let go of parts of my identity, and Shannon's been really instrumental in supporting me through that. So she's been really instrumental in supporting me through that transition and letting me know that I'm not losing my mind and that everything's going to be okay. Shannon herself has been going through a huge transformation, so it's just been great having that support. So we've been lifelines for each other in our own personal lives, actually, more recently. And we're both using our own spiritual practices through it, but we've been speaking more, supporting each other through our own personal transformations, actually, over the last 3 or 4 months. So that's been beautiful to have that friendship through that. And I would think that I know from hearing from Hannah and Fiona too that it's been that friendship too. Yeah. Benay feels intimidated by having an accountability buddy. She thinks that's supposed to be the case, but okay, so say, Benny, would it be okay if we unmute you to speak about that a little bit? Because I'm curious about the intimidation a bit. Okay. Is it okay if we speak to you guys a little bit about this a little bit more? Okay. Yes. So let's speak to Paige first, and maybe Benny, see what your courage level is about. So how you feel about speaking about that. So, Paige.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Paige.
Hello.
Okay, so tell me more about what you're looking for in an accountability buddy.
Sure. If you can't hear me, my internet says I'm having network connection difficulties, so you just let me know.
Yeah, I hear you fine right now.
Ruby. I'm looking for someone who's interested in some Skype or telephone connection about once a week. I have written recently about kind of having yoga avoidance, which can happen when things are getting really edgy in my life and in my practice. And I don't have anybody in my, what do the kids say, IRL, in my in real life, like here, but this yoga community is my real life, and I'm kind of coming to that understanding on a deeper level that's what this is for me. This is my spirit community. And I'd like somebody who wants to have a conversation about what's going on in our yoga practice, someone who I'm interested in planning, let's, maybe Sunday through Saturday, what are some practices we want to explore together and then have conversations, but it doesn't have to be that. I'm pretty open to the form, but I'm definitely interested in working with someone who wants accountability, that sort of we've committed to showing up together for each other, and someone who's bringing for whom as I've said before, sometimes I'm surprised at how physically hard yoga is because a lot of times I come to my mat for the other koshas.
Mm-hmm.
The body kosha surprises me a little bit because I'm there for many reasons.
Yeah, and I think the relationship and what you need. So look, you've already got Becky said she's going through all of that, and she'd be up for that. So there you go. And she says weekends would be great for that. So you've got somebody who's willing to meet you where you are. So I appreciate you speaking what you need, and I think when we have the courage to show up and ask for what we need, you receive what you ask for. There you go. Thank you, Paige. So you have a new accountability buddy. How are you guys going to connect? Are you going to? You can send Rebecca Green a message right in the forum, and then you guys can decide how you're going to connect from there, I guess. Will that work?
Absolutely.
Okay. Great. Problem solved. There we go. Cupid's arrow sent. All right. Okay. So Fiona wanted to say that even though her and Hannah are accountable to what they do, it doesn't matter what they set out to do. That's life. Yeah, I would like to say too that Shannon and I haven't actually completed our first goal of doing the Hanuman series either. So, and that more our relationship is about supporting each other for whatever's coming up in our lives at the time. So when maybe accountability, it's more about having somebody to support you in your life. So, yeah. Benny, do you want to speak a little bit more about being nervous about having a buddy? Okay, I appreciate your courage because I think there's probably other people that are nervous about it too, and maybe we can ease that nervousness. Yeah, okay. Hi, Benny.
Merci.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Hi.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Okay. Tell me
I have some desires about my practice, my yoga practice, and it's not always easy to make them real, because of the life routine. I know that a buddy would be a great idea to help me, but I'm really, really afraid of not being able to make it real, I can't find it, to be on top, to
Are you?
It's hard for me to speak.
Yeah, it's okay.
And maybe it's one point that explains that I am afraid to my super bad level of English, and so I don't know. Maybe it's not. I have not so much courage to. I'm afraid I might be not honest. No, it's not honest. With the engagement I will take. Oh, it's awful. I can't speak.
No, it's okay.
Say it in French.
Yeah. In French. J'ai peur de ne pas tenir mon engagement.
Oh, okay. So she's saying she doesn't want to lose. She's already.
You see, it's hard.
Yeah. You don't want to lose the connection?
No, it's not connection.
It's.
I'm not getting the word. I'm getting everything but the word.
If I have a buddy,
You're afraid of the commitment.
It's like a contract.
Merci.
Yeah, Becky's got it. You're afraid of the commitment.
yeah,
Yeah,
to not be able to
commit.
commit.
Yeah,
But that's just me.
yeah.
It's the story of my life.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. Okay. So, so tell me, take a moment. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to acknowledge your courage in speaking, and not just speaking, but speaking in a language that's not your mother tongue. And I want you to ask you to
Thank
just
you.
take a deep breath. And feel your body come into your body. And I want you to reflect back on your life. Just think back. And recall something in your life that you have committed to. Can you think of one thing in your life that you have committed to?
Yeah.
Tell me,
Yes.
what's that?
Well, there's many things. First of all, my spouse, my companion,
Mm-hmm.
then my child,
Mm-hmm. So there's two
and
things.
yeah, and I think about my work because I start again to study to become nurse when I was 30,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a real commitment for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I see what you want me to see.
Yeah, I
And
see.
yeah,
I
that's
see somebody
yeah,
who's able to be incredibly accountable to her family, her work, and I see somebody who, when she came to Namaste Yoga, who is able to commit to her inner life, to her yoga practice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's just my a deep fear, you know.
yeah.
Mm.
So I wonder, I I wonder, I'm curious if by connecting with a yoga buddy and with somebody else, that they would be able to help you see that part of yourself a little more deeply too.
Mhm.
You know that in holding back from connecting with another person, you're holding back from seeing that part of yourself too.
Yes, yes. I think that will probably just work super fine.
Yeah. Because these relationships are fluid too. Like Fiona would tell you about that, about her relationship with Hannah too. You know, there's a lot of you know that from what kind of people are here in our community. They're
Mm.
gracious, kind, and forgiving
Yeah,
people. When your
yeah,
life
I
gets
know.
busy, they're going to understand and they're going to give you space. They're not going to be they're
Yes,
not
of
going to be
course,
hounding you. That
of course.
that's been true for me with Shannon, and when she needs space, I give her space too. And when we
Yeah.
need that support, we come in and ask for that support from each other. So, and that can be part of setting up that relationship too, is putting that fear on the table at the beginning.
Mm.
I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that my life is busy, that I'm one of the things that's going on for me right now is that I'm just starting back to work, and I'm really finding it challenging fitting in my yoga as I get back
Exactly.
to work. When you
Mm.
put those things on the table at the beginning of the relationship, then it becomes something that your yoga buddy is able to hold space for as well. Does that
Yes,
make
of course.
sense?
And yeah, totally. And also to see my level of exigence a little lower, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. Of course.
Yeah. So that's where the short classes are good. That's where the weekly challenges are good with
Mm.
the
Yes.
short classes for the days of the week. Yeah,
Yes. I go there really, really often.
good.
And well, I feel kind of relieved, to have the courage to say that, because that's something I have in my mind since the first time you put accountability yoga buddies on work. So I feel like relief, super.
And
So
I'm super glad you spoke, because if you were feeling that way, I'm sure you weren't the only one.
don't know, but so I will find a yoga buddy.
And
There's somebody,
there's
Diane, is,
Dan saying she's still looking one. She hasn't found somebody that she would really connect with. And I'm sure that somebody listening will really connect with what you're saying and probably reach out
And
to you too, somebody
who
who
is
listens
not,
to the recording. Yep.
and who accept some bad mistakes of languages too.
Yeah, so it could be useful to post, where you're at and what you're looking for on the forum too, and somebody who will relate to that will
Yes.
respond, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you for
time.
speaking.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move on. Thank you so much to Paige and Bene for speaking, and Fiona for speaking about accountability buddies. This is a huge part of our community. It's one that's like glue for our community, that it's really given depth to my life, and I know for those that use it. And I'm going to move on to some other questions. Fiona had some questions about old Namaste yoga classes, and I want to show a new part of the community that Tim's been working very hard on. So if you scroll down to the blogs, Melissa's blogs and weekly videos, there's a Namaste yoga playlist here that Tim started on. And there'll be more coming soon. But we found that people liked the format of the weekly challenge so much that we wanted you to be able to stay in the membership community. We know you like commenting here and being able to have a conversation with other members. So we've started to populate the membership community with the old Namaste yoga classes here. So for example, Yoga for Gratitude, you can comment on the series here, and then here's the whole video series in the same way that a weekly challenge would be set up. If you scroll through, it's in order with the show notes from the class, so you know what each class is about. There's the whole series, and then you can go back and you can comment and have a discussion about the series with your other members. So all the playlists, all of them since the beginning will be here, and we're hoping that that will be an easier way for you to find them. Yeah. So people are thinking that that's amazing, and it is. Becky was asking about how to meet up with other Namaste Yoga members. Besides having an accountability buddy, you can meet up locally with people. So here's some local meetups. You can post a new thread here. There may be some local meetups posted here that you can scroll through and read, but you could also just in the local meetups area look and see if anybody's posted an area where you are. Oftentimes when people are visiting Victoria, BC, they'll let me know, because I have met, for example, Betsy Freedom and I just met when she was here. She visited Victoria, and I was able to meet her, and we had a lovely visit while she was here. Otherwise, post where you are. When I go to Vancouver, or if I go to Seattle, I'll let you know. If I'm going to be traveling, I'll let you know in here so I can meet up with you. Post a new thread, let us know where you are, and then we can meet up. Becky wants to know if I do teacher training. We are actually going to be putting out a request pretty soon, soonest, for people who are interested in leadership in our community. So you will have noticed that Ulrika, for example, Michelle, Hannah, Ivy, there are several people in our community that run certain forums in our community, and we're looking for more leaders for within our community. So we will be running a leadership course for our community soon. So if that interests you, we will be doing that again very soon. So that is the closest that I do to teacher training. I think there are already a lot of teachers, and I think we need leaders in our community. So that's something that, so Becky, if that interests you, then we would love to have you as part of that, if you'd be interested in being a leader in our community and having go a part of the leadership in our community. And yes, we haven't been to Seattle yet, but we do plan on going to Seattle. Yeah, there's a ferry that leaves here all the time. So yes, if anybody's interested in being in Seattle, yeah, Jane, we'd love to have you as a leader of our community. So it's an amazing course. We haven't run it in a while, like about a year and a half, I don't think. Yeah. So actually, that would be good to bring Tim on to do the photos, show you guys how to do photos now. And then we'll get some pro tips from our members. I'm going to take my water.
You gonna take your tea?
Hello. I'm probably cutting my head off because I'm not quite the same height as Melissa. Can you guys hear me okay? Yay, they can hear me. Perfect, perfect. Well, I must say, très bien tu bene. Your courage was exemplary. Really good. Très bien. So we're going to open up this page and go straight through to, well, first of all, tech support and tech support videos. I have a whole whack of tech support videos in here, and this is actually something I really enjoy. So if you come up with a question and you're not really sure, how to answer it. I know that Maria, for example, earlier on this week had an issue with her iPhone and getting an iPhone photo that she had and getting it up onto the membership site. So I actually did an entire video just for that. Now that's pretty specific, but I have to have an iPhone, and that's not too tough for me to do. So please do, if you have any questions about this sort of thing, ask me, and if I can do a short video, it just tickles me to do that. So I just think it's awesome that I can record the screen and get it up there and help people like yourselves in this area. Now, the difficulty with imagery and images being uploaded to the web in general is just that the photos that even an iPhone will take are huge. They're just great big photos that you can print off, and the resolution for printing images needs to be pretty high. But the resolution for screens is around 72 dots per inch, unless you're on an iPad, in which case it's around 145, 144. So and some of these are actually getting even higher now with 4K screens. So the resolution, though, isn't nearly as high as it needs to be for print. So to that end, so that when you're surfing through using your phone, your iPad, and if you have slow bandwidth, I don't want these images to be massive so that they take a long, long time to load up for people. So as a result, we need them reduced. And that magic number is 800 by 800. Now, I did do some videos on this, and you can see the most recent ones seem to be all about this. How to upload photos and make your own photo gallery is one. How to reduce or shrink photos for the community. I'm just going to click on this one because it has a link in here which I think is particularly helpful. And that link is to do with Pixlr, pixlr.com. I'm going to open that tab and just quickly show you how fast and easy it is to access and to work with. If you use Pixlr, what's basically what we're going to do here is we're going to take the photo that's on your computer, upload it to Pixlr, reduce it down to the size that's going to be able to be used on the website, onto the membership area, and get started and get it up there and leave it there. So when you get to this page, you don't even have to log in. Just click on Launch Web App. So this is software. You don't even have to have the software downloaded. Everything just works online. You're going to click on where it says Open Image from Computer. You click that. I will then go to my hard drive here and pick up an image of something that I've taken recently. How about whale watching? And let's say we'll take a picture of this guy. And you can see how fast that one uploaded. And at the bottom here, you can see that that's just because my internet speed's pretty quick. You can see in the bottom left corner here, it says 1832 by 1832. That's the number of pixels it is. It's a square image. And what we need to do is we need to reduce that down to 800 by 800 for the web. So you just click on image in the top left corner, and this image size will come up. And we're going to just type in here 800, and you'll notice that if you have that little box below where it says constrain proportions, if you have that checked, then it will automatically correct that, so it's the square image in this particular case. So anything 800 by 800 or smaller is fine. Hit OK, and now the image is the right size. Now I'm going to hit File, and I'm going to save this image. I'm just going to save this one here as a Orca test, and I'm going to save it onto my computer. I have a little junk folder here that I'll drop it into. And then when I go back to the membership community, let's say, for example, I'm posting a new thread and I'd like to post that image. What I will do is type in my Orca pic. Hello, killer whale. And there's a little button here, Insert Image. Click on that. From the computer, select the files. I will then go to where I dropped it off, which is my little junk folder. Selected it, Orca test, upload the file. And what you will notice sometimes is, and that's actually kind of funny, I managed to upload an image that's slightly too big, but if I go back, I can reduce it as well. That's because the file kilobytes is a little bit bigger. I'm actually going to increase that to over 100, but the file size needs to be just a little bit lower. I'm just going to clear this list and do it again. I'll do it from one of the, we'll call it a seal this time, but I'll just grab the seal. From computer. That's so funny, we have an epic fail. And use this guy. Upload it. And when I do upload it, you'll see that it says attach and attach before and after with a number in between. And that's because it's the way the database is actually going to save it. When I actually submit the new thread, that's when you'll actually see the picture. In this case, it's going to be a seal, not a killer whale, but you'll see that there's a picture of a seal I was rowing past yesterday. So make sure that the image size is 800 or 800 as the maximum. And in fact, what I would probably do is 600 by 600. And if I did that again here, I can make sure that that image size is even smaller. Hit OK. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Anyway, I think I probably covered it off. Just make sure that the images are smaller. 600 by 600, 800 by 800 should be fine. The actual kilobytes, I'm going to increase that size limit to 100 or less, so that whale would have uploaded. And I'll do that now, just I didn't realize it was so small. And 100 kilobytes or less will be fine, and 800 or by 800 pixels dimensionally will be fine as well. The other thing I wanted to cover off was on the phone. I'll be really fast. If you happen to use an iPhone, I have noticed if you're using the app, which is called Forum Runner, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm guessing you can. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. There it is. So with the Forum app, what I have noticed, if I scroll through to watch one of the videos, we'll pick the long videos, for example, and if you haven't used this particular app, I find it so helpful. I really, really enjoy it. There's also an app for Android devices, so if you happen to have an Android device and not an iPhone or an iPad, you can download the app there as well. I'll take the example of Yoga for Cyclists. When I click on Yoga for Cyclists, all I get are the comments, and that, there you go. I just get the comments, but you will notice there's a little tab, and that tab right now is highlighted. It says Threads. The tab directly to the right of that says Stickies. If I click on Stickies, it actually shows the video. And that's because the video, when I upload videos, I actually make them sticky. So that means that all the sticky means is it pushes the post to the top. And so I made it sticky. And then when you click on that, you scroll through and you'll find the link. And the link there is, in this particular instance, the YouTube link, and it just shows up and you hit play and away you go. So I do hope that helps. If you do have tech questions, please ask me. I love answering them. In the tech area, of course, as I know most of you are well versed in the membership area, the tech support thread is a terrific spot to go. Click on support, tech support, post a new thread, ask away, and myself or one of the other members will get right back to you. And you can also message me directly within the membership area. It's just sending a message to tim-admin, or you can email me directly, admin@melissawest.com. So I hope that helps. I'm going to get out of here, right? Melissa's going to come back, and yeah, I think that works out really well. So as I said, please do fire off. I'm just going to quickly take a look here at the questions. You're good for questions. Unless ask if they have any other tech questions. Any other tech questions? And it doesn't look like it.
I didn't see any. I was following comments the whole time. Ask Benny why she stopped using it.
Stop using what? Where's that?
The app.
Oh, Benny, you stopped using the app. Maybe message me, tell me why. I just found it really handy, especially with iPhones, because I can reply and use my voice and it converts it to text. I just thought that was wonderful because my typing was just atrocious. Can't log in. Well, thank you, Tim. I can't log in. Oh, you couldn't log in. Okay. Okay, message me directly and I will show you how to do that because I can do a video on how to actually log in. I actually don't log in anymore. The app remembers me. So when I go back to the membership area, I'll do a quick video for you because once you've logged in once, that should be it. It's on your phone. So I hope that helps. Anywho, I'm sure Melissa wants to say goodbye and we're going to wrap up. Are we?
Yeah, we're just going to say
bye.
Okay, now I look really short. I know some of you have to go, so I completely understand if you need to hop off. Before we go, I want to see if any of you have any tips that you want to share for your best tips for getting around the membership community, some things that we might not have covered today. Can you let us know what those, I can unmute you and you can let us know what those might be. Let me see if there's anything else that anybody wants to share. Ulrika, is there anything you want to share that we didn't cover today? I didn't show the weekly challenge. Ulrika, why don't you say a couple of words about the weekly challenge and then we'll close out. I've unmuted you, Ulrika.
Okay, hi, do you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, well, oh, I just got blank here. But I have been really enjoying these summer and autumn's weekly challenges. I think it's great that Hannah is with us, and I think that the last 2 weeks here with the Navatri has been wonderful, and I believe that this will continue during the rest of this fall and into winter up to Christmas and so on. So I really do hope that many of you will check it out, check out the weekly challenges. I think it's always interesting to know if you find the classes that we suggest helpful, and if you're wishing for maybe more meditations or other sort of videos instead of just the yoga classes. So do in contact. You can find me and write a notification if you want to directly to me, or post it in the weekly challenges threads and so on. I believe it will be Hannah that will do some great weekly challenges the upcoming 2 weeks, and then it's my turn again. So
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see, for those of you who, a lot of you spoke about the beauty of connecting with each other. This is where you can see, this is one of Ulrika's challenges from at the beginning of October. You can see how much engagement happens here, how much discussion happens about our yoga practice throughout the week. And I, for one, really enjoy Ulrika's and Hannah's. I'm looking forward to Hannah's. And the three of us had a meeting just on Tuesday about our plan for the upcoming year, about what's happening for the year. And we're really looking forward to what we have planned that has grown out of how we've seen you engaged with the Navratri challenge, the Divine Feminine. We do see a deep desire to go deeply, more with a more spiritual focus, to engage with images more. And so we are going to really be bringing that in for you over the coming year. And we're very excited about that.
And I also think it's so wonderful because just when I had started the latest challenges, it's Living Joe Sankapa, I got this terrible cold, so I hadn't so much strength to sit and write on the computer. So I found it so wonderful to see how the other members was connecting to each other and was writing and answering each other and so on. So that is so wonderful, and this is also a way of connecting with each other. If you don't have a yoga buddy, you can meet over the weekly challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, you wanted to say something?
I just had a quick tech question for them that they can answer for me.
Yeah.
Right now, the questions that they are asking,
Yes.
do they see everybody's questions or only their own? And if so, we may have to switch over to chat.
In the questions box, they can see everything.
Can you see, for example, like all of Benny's?
Yeah.
I know you can. I know I can, but can you ask them?
In the questions box, you can see all the questions, can't you? Everybody can see everything? I think so. Ulrika, can you see everybody's questions in the questions box?
Well, let me see here. It's such a small box, so you can scroll down. But yes, some of them at least I can see. I can see mine and some of them.
Oh, Fiona says she only sees the answer when you answer them. She sees the question.
That's what I was wondering. Okay. So if I don't answer it,
if you don't answer it, you don't see it. Okay.
Next time we'll have to switch over to chat then.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Okay, well, thank you, Ulrika, for speaking about the weekly challenges. It's a great way. We put a short video for the days of the week when you have to get to work and long videos for the weekend. So it's great for your flow of the week. And people really appreciate that too. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ulrika. And thank you, everybody, I'm going to unmute everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this month's week. It's not the weekly challenge. For this month's motivational meetup, I'm just unmuting everybody so you can say goodbye. And I appreciate you all being here. Let's see.
Merci.
So thank you very
Merci
much,
beaucoup.
and we will see you on the forum. And I appreciate everybody who spoke for speaking, and we'll see you next month here. And have a wonderful evening and rest of your day.
Au
Thanks, Kim
revoir.
and Melissa.
Great work. Courage to vous.
Oi.
Bye.
Bye.
Merci.
That worked out really well.